Ohio State has added another cornerback to its 2026 recruiting class in Kamari Bing, the number 919 player in the country, number 78 cornerback in the country. As flip season has officially arrived, they flipped Kamari from Maryland, and this is just Andrew. I don't know if people were maybe caught off guard by this decision, but talk about Kamari a little bit. What does he bring to the class, and then kind of project what his potential career looks like at Ohio State? Because this isn't obviously a Devin Sanchez situation where we're going, hey, can he play as a freshman? If not, then can he start as a sophomore? This seems maybe more of a developmental project.
Yeah, so it was kind of a delayed flip, right? So Ohio State got in the mix with this kid. He's from St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, which is obviously one of the better high school programs in the country. He plays on a defense with a ton of other D1 prospects. Zion Ely, I think he's the number 1 or number 2 player in the class. Like, that defense is loaded. So, he's able to stand out on that, and that kind of takes notice as well when you're able to kind of stand out in that crowd. But he had been committed to Maryland for a little bit of time and commits to Maryland. Ohio State gets in the mix. Alabama got in the mix a little bit. He took a visit to Ohio State for an official visit for the Minnesota game. That was on October 4th. October 6th, he decommits from Maryland. He then commits to Ohio State about a week later. So it technically wasn't a flip, but it basically was a flip. He knew what he was doing, I think, and I think it's pretty clear to say what it was.
I think anything under 30 days we can call it.
I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
So he flips to Ohio State. I think when you look at what kind of he brings to, Ohio State's class, I think there's two things. Number one, he fulfills, I think, like a deep safety role. He's 6 feet tall, 190 pounds. I think when you look at him, you see athleticism, you see speed, you see kind of sideline to sideline stuff. That's really what I like to see in high school kids. When you can run like that and make plays, frankly, you can kind of get coached up at the college level, right? And you got to trust Matt Guerreri and Tim Walton and Matt Patricia and everybody on that staff to kind of do that. So I like what he brings in kind of like a true kind of deep free safety type of role. I think, especially with the way that Ohio State talks about their defense, the way that they talk about their safeties, they want to have a 3 safety defense and a safety driven defense and all this other kind of stuff. I think Bing fits into that mix well. So I think he provides something that you didn't have. Like Blaine Bradford, you can kind of do whatever you want with him. Kid's a 5-star, really, really awesome. I think Ohio State fans should be probably on lookout for him to make an impact in year one. Simeon Caldwell is a little bit different. He is a top 100 recruit, but he's also 6'3", 190. So he is your guy that everybody has kind of pointed to and said, Sonny Styles. Ohio State views him as a safety right now. They want him in that safety room to begin because this kid can fly. And their numbers that they had testing for him over the summer in the Woody and internally were pretty good and athletically on par with what you would want out of a safety. So obviously I think the argument exists, we'll just move him to linebacker if he puts on 30 pounds and blah, blah, blah. I don't think they're there yet. Could they be? Maybe. But right now I think he's going to be kind of your in the box. We can move him closer to the line of scrimmage type of guy. So I think you've got a nice little mix there with what Kamari Bing brings to this class. So you got those 3 guys. It solidifies the safety unit. I feel pretty good about this class right now, especially with the 3 that you have. We're about 6-7 weeks away from signing day right now. Teams are going to try to flip Bradford. Teams are going to try to flip Caldwell. Teams are going to try to flip Bing. He did have an official visit scheduled for Alabama in November. It was a recruitment that I think wrapped up maybe a little bit sooner than people on the outside expected. So solidifies your safety unit. You needed 3, I think, in this class. Now you got 3. Secondary looks a little bit better if you go after a second corner. I think it does a lot. It fills a lot of holes and checks a lot of boxes for Ohio State's defense.
Okay. 247 has him listed as a corner, but then 1-3 and some other places have him as a safety. So which makes me to ask this question then. But also, committing and then scheduling a visit to Alabama doesn't sound like he's done, but also, again, I think when you hear the number 919 player in the country, I think that's when it becomes one of those situations. I'm sure he is that. And this is not saying, hey, he should be a 5-star recruit. But if Ohio State and Alabama have all of a sudden become the 2 teams battling for him, and at least commitment means you're in the lead officially, then that should probably tell you more about this kid in terms of what his senior film was versus what any ranking should give you. So let's talk about the safety class, assuming this is it. These are the 3 they get. Obviously, they missed out on Braylon Womack, but Blaine Bradford, Simeon Caldwell, who we saw in person, I don't think the Sonny Styles trajectory quite fits him the way that I think it was being presented. He's
100%.
yeah, like he looks like a safety, and it's okay. Like everybody can't be a freak of nature like Sonny Styles is, but Blaine Bradford, Simeon Caldwell, and now you've got Khmari Bing. That's a lot of B's in one class. It's a lot of B's. Who is who? Let's look at what the safeties are doing right now with Caleb Downs, Jalen McClain, and Lorenzo Styles. If you had to plop them in today, who is doing what role?
Bradford, Downs,
Okay.
Bing, McClain, Simeon Caldwell not applicable. Because I don't think I look at any of these safeties and see, like, Simeon Caldwell is going to get to college and develop physically still, I think. And I think you're going to have a safety that is 6'3" and I don't know.
Is he actually 6'3" though? Because some places
he's taller than I am, and I'm 6'1", so it looked to be 6'3" when I talked to him in person.
Yeah, he's also a more in shape athlete than you are, to be fair. And that's not a dig at
No,
you. He's more
you say that he is 100% a better in shape athlete.
Yeah, he's a better in shape athlete than I am too.
Yeah.
But like a lot of places have like updated him and said he's 6'1.5". That's why I'm a little like, I don't know.
He's a little tall.
But okay.
Yeah, I think Caldwell is your guy where, you know, if you want to play him closer to the line of scrimmage, you can. You can maybe play him in the box a little bit. Like Caleb Downs is your move all around your defense and figure it out. Blaine Bradford, I think, can be that. I'm not going to say that he's Blaine Bradford and how good he's going to be, or he's not Caleb. Blaine Bradford's not going to be Caleb Downs and how good he's going to be. Those are unfair expectations for anybody. Like,
no, it's more just how they might use it.
Yeah. So I want to be clear about that. So it's more usage based. So I think that's probably your two. And then I look at Caldwell and I'm like, you know, like what safety in that room right now is like 6'3" and like 225 or 6'3", 220, 6'3", even like 215. Like there's not really a body type that they have like that they have really been using. And I just think he's going to be a little bit unique of a weapon for Ohio State to use. Maybe not in 2026, but certainly in 2027 as he develops and as things go on. It's like, okay, maybe you have a safety that can play closer to the line of scrimmage. Maybe you have a safety that can play in the box. Maybe this just present, like we've seen all about Ohio State this year. We talk about it on the defensive line a lot. Versatility. Caden Curry's played in a zero technique over the center. Caden Curry's played defensive end. Bo Atkinson has played in 3 technique over the outside shoulder of the guard. He's played as an edge rusher. They've done a lot, and we've talked about it in a defensive line way. I think this might be the class where you can do that on the back end as well.
So Kamari Bing, safety number 3 in the class, 3-star recruit out of Maryland, who flips from Maryland to Ohio State to give the class 22 commitments, the number 9 class in the country. Get the text 614-350-3315. I know we're doing a video a couple of days after this, but the text and the information went out the day that it happened. In fact, seconds after it happened, which is why you should get them, because it's a 2-week free trial and then $3.99 after that. Ohio State adds a 22nd member to its 2026 recruiting class. That's Andrew. I'm Stephen. Talk to you guys later.